Hello, I'm Amy Reid. I look after AI and innovation for Aven Hospitality. So I'm going to be talking today a bit about MCP, better known as Model Context Protocol, what it means for our customers, and what we are doing with Aven to support you with your innovation and AI efforts. So I think we all know that with the rapid evolution of Gen AI, Gen AI has displaced both social media and search as the number one place our guests go to get their travel inspiration and when they start thinking about the booking journey. Now, that is probably the biggest shift in travel distribution since the rise of OTAs or online travel agencies. And for hotels and our customers, the number one question me and my team are getting is how can we help ensure that our hotels are discoverable and bookable across these channels? And how can we ensure that what happened in search doesn't happen in AI, i.e., all the top queries and responses are dominated by the OTA players. So to understand this better, we need to really understand the impact AI is having on our guest behaviors. AI has allowed our guests to move from passive consumption to immersive consumption. It allows them to be part of the narrative and, in fact, to control the conversation. And through these channels, they have the ability to co-create. So if the answer they want isn't the answer they wish for, or they wish to filter it further, they can do so all within these channels. And the stats really prove for it themselves. 80% of AI users say AI tools saves them at least 1 to 3 hours per trip. And 84% of travelers who use AI say it improves their experience. Therefore, this is here to stay. And what it means for us is that AI is really collapsing the research and comparison phase, which is the longest part of the funnel. So gone are the days of guests opening multiple tabs, scrolling through lists of links, comparing options across sites or comparison sites, and then choosing their preferred channel to book. They are now able to do all of that within one interface. The key thing is that what's also showing or transpiring is that these queries are 2 to 3 times the length of standard search. So in a typical search or a Google search, you might put 5-star hotel Paris. Now what we're seeing is I'd like a 5-star hotel in Paris that is less than a 5-minute walk to the train station. I also would like views of the Eiffel Tower and somewhere that has 24/7 room service. The key challenge, though, is AI is still relying on the open web, predominantly SEO, search engine optimization, to construct those answers. And the recent McKinsey survey highlighted a brand's own site typically represents just 5 to 10% of the sources that AI search draws from. So if they can't find it from that source, they need to look at alternatives. Now, we know that AI is only as good as the data that feeds it. Almost correct or out of date data is not good enough. So when AI doesn't find the data that it wants through the channels it wants, i.e. your direct sites, it will go elsewhere. So inaccurate, outdated information, missing details, or high risks of errors when moving closer to booking will not help you be discoverable or bookable through these channels. Now, just taking a little step back, understanding what's going on across AI at the moment, like where are these AI platforms, these drawing their data from? And it is evolving daily, but at the moment it's predominantly SEO, which is search engine optimization. Then going forward, there's a move towards GEO, which is generative engine optimization, where we can help start actually to structure the contextual content to make it more discoverable. But where things really get truly exciting is MCP, Model Context Protocol. This is where AI stops interpreting or guessing, and it starts connecting directly with your content, with your ARI, and with your data. So Model Context Protocol, MCP, is an emerging industry standard that helps these AI platforms derive and get access to the inventory that it wants to provide the recommendations that it needs. And this is what we are enabling as part of our POC within Aven Hospitality. I'm going to share you quick video to kind of share or highlight exactly what we're doing and the impact that will have in the booking journey. Now, there's a lot of noise out there about MCP. You're going to get a lot of players, third parties who are going to come to you to say, hey, we can help you enable MCP for you and show up across these channels. And one of the key things I'd like to highlight here is our key point of differentiation. And that is where we're enabling MCP. We are enabling MCP at the center and the core of distribution. We are not exposing content through a secondary layer or intermediary. And this is really critical because in an agentic world, origin matters. They want to go to the closest place, the source of truth. If AI is going to shop and transact on behalf of guests, you don't want it relying on secondary data. You want it connected directly to the system at the center of the truth for distribution. So every transaction is governed by your rules. You show up how you wish to show up. If we think about it, ARI powers distribution, data powers intelligence. We want to help you to be able to treat your data the same way you do ARI, with the proper governance and controls in place. So AI chooses what data to surface. That we can't control, but MCP will enable you to be discoverable and bookable, and put you, more importantly, by enabling it within the CRS, put you back in control, give you the right governance and guardrails to ensure that you know how and where you show up on your terms. So without further ado, we're going to now hand over to a panel to address some of the key questions our customers have been asking us. I'd now like to invite Mark Hollyhead, our Chief Transformation Officer for Aven Hospitality, to join us and to ask some of the key questions we're hearing from our customers around MCP. Mark, welcome to the call. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you, Amy, and thank you for having me. It's great to be here interrogating you with a few questions to aid and benefit our customers in the marketplace.
You always do that well, Mark, so thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna fire away with a few questions, and hopefully you can enlighten us all on how these things are playing in. So first off, does switching on MCP, or Model Context Protocol, mean the hotels will be visible on AI platforms like ChatGPT, but not limited to?
Yeah, the short answer is no, it doesn't. Switching on MCP doesn't automatically make your hotel visible in AI platforms. What MCP does is it makes the hotel accessible, interpretable, and bookable by AI. But visibility really depends on whether AI chooses to use it. I talked earlier in the presentation about the way that AI platforms are consuming data and at different stages, from SEO to search engine optimization to GEO, generative engine optimization to MCP. But visibility still depends on whether AI chooses to use MCP. MCP is where it gets really exciting because MCP is what enables true agentic commerce, but it's not yet wildly consumed by AI yet. And today there is no universal distribution layer for MCP. However, for ChatGPT, visibility can be enabled through a white labeled app within ChatGPT. And we are rolling that out as part of our POC. However, for the app to be used, a guest still needs to be able to call out the app. So for instance, at Aven Hospitality or at Aven Hotel Brand, for that app to be used. POC, proof of concept. So we're already undertaking a proof of concept with a number of hotels. And we are building those apps within ChatGPT and enabling MCP for all of their hotels.
Great. I think that's hopefully very clear to everybody. So let's face your next challenge. Will a guest really use ChatGPT to call out at Aven Hospitality to find a hotel?
Look, from what we're seeing, it's not really a natural or intuitive guest behavior. However, over time, we expect the AI platforms to evolve to support more native, automatic discovery, where AI selects the best source without explicit user prompts. That's why our focus isn't just on visibility today, but it's ensuring that the hotels have the right data, it's structured, it's governed and accessible. So when AI models shift towards more agentic autonomous discovery, those hotels can be the forefront of that change because they have the right foundations in place. And so for us, this is very much putting in the right foundations.
Makes perfect sense for this first step, but we know it's going to be a learning journey from here for sure. How is our MCP different from other MCP solutions out there? There's a lot going on in this space, so a lot of commentary, a lot of noise, a lot of truths, a lot of half truths. So tell us about your thoughts here, Amy.
And a lot of hype. So where I see it is our point of difference is really about where MCP is enabled. And that being the most important thing is we are enabling it at the core, at the center of distribution. We are not exposing content through a secondary layer or an intermediary. And look, this is really critical because in an agentic world, origin really matters. If AI is going to, as we know, we push towards agentic commerce, if it's going to shop and transact on behalf of guests, you do not want it relying on secondary data. You want it connected directly to the system at the center of truth for that distribution. So every transaction is governed by your rules in what data and offers get exposed to which channels. And that, I can't reiterate enough, is so, so important.
So it's an opportunity for hotels to really grab the initiative and be who they want to be in this new environment and this world that we're going into today.
Completely. And being, there are going to be a number of people who are going to be able to say that they can solve for this for you, but just think about where you're enabling it and really where you want to enable it. Because we know that AI wants to go to the source of truth. They don't want to kind of like negotiate with a third party or an intermediary. They need to know that they're getting the validated source of truth. And that's where governance controls, the ability for hotels to decide how they show up becomes even more critical and more important.
Okay, let's build from there then in that case. What's the case for not building MCP in-house and connecting directly to AI platforms? Tell us about this one, Amy.
Well, I love this question because I've seen it quite a lot, and we have seen hotels doing that. But I don't know why. It always reminds me of a fairy tale. Now, I don't know if you remember, Mark, the fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen of The Emperor's New Clothes.
Indeed.
Um, yeah. So to me, it's a bit like that. Everyone tells you going direct is the smartest move until you may realize you may have given away or exposed a lot more than you wish or than you think. And in this case, it's data. So what is important about here is not just about connecting, because once you connect and expose all of your data, it's very hard to bring that back. What it's important about is about governance and control. If you go direct to one AI partner, you're effectively handing over the keys and your data to them on their terms without the right governance and control in place. So where we add value and where it becomes really important, our focus is giving you back the controls at the center where it matters, deciding what data, rates and offers go to which AI platforms and channels under which conditions. In effect, as well, not only is ARI important, it's enabling you to treat data the same way you do ARI, because that is one of your most important assets.
Information is certainly going to be more and more important about representing yourself and your property. To enable MCP then, does the customer need to use Aven's booking engine?
You can use either the Aven hospitality booking engine or our custom booking engine. The only difference for the custom booking engine is customers, they must support deep linking within their own booking engine environment. But we do support both.
Very good. Well, When will Aven be doing all of this MCP work? When will it be available for all customers?
So the POC is already underway at the moment, and we are targeting a full rollout to all customers in Q3 this year. So exciting times ahead.
Indeed, lots of learning ahead, and great times coming to Q3 when the whole population will be available for us.
Exactly.
And I think that's our last question, Amy, unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think that's it. And I just wanted to leave on a final note to say, look, thank you so much for listening to this presentation and these Q&As. And Mark, thank you so much for asking the questions that are most top of mind for our customers. I think it's really important for us to be able to have these discussions. We want to know that we are thinking very strategically about this. This is top of mind for us and a priority. And we hope to have a lot more of these videos available to you as and when things progress. We're learning a lot. There's a steep learning curve within AI. Things change daily, but we just want to ensure to you that we are putting the right foundations in place at the center where it matters. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this video session. Thank you.